You can tell my sleep score by my eyes, I'm pretty sure. I am busted. Didn't sleep a lot last night. Probably had a cold brew way too late, but it powered the scripted video that I was shooting, and I mean, it was awesome. Cold brew delivers, and I am going to start weaving it in. But I probably had it too late in the afternoon, 4 o'clock, and then shot this video. And I was driving hard, feeling really good, and it got super hot in here. So this launch pad, which I love that name. Maybe it's gimmicky, but I don't care. The launch pad is what this platform is going to be, this video series. And so here in the launch pad, it got a little hot yesterday. They're trying to figure out why my air is not working. There's a guy next door that pretty much has a data center. It's just stupid. There's just nothing but racks of servers in there like it's 1995. Actually, it's probably a bad reference time frame wise. Racks of servers existed even into the 2010s, but either way, it's an old school data center in an office that's not much bigger than this. And this is about 110 square feet. I should measure it. And it's an interior. That's why I can control the lighting pretty good for these videos. Honestly, like, I had this in mind when I picked this office, but I didn't do anything for several years. But it's great to be going. But anyway, he's next door. He's got this legit data center, and it gets super hot. It just travels over here because he's probably, I don't even know what kind of air conditioning system he has, but I don't think it's much. I mean, it's a risky move. He's got a lot of equipment over there. But they do have a separate vent for me, but every now and then it falters, and so this space gets hot. I can't obviously have the door open while I'm doing these. And so I had the fan on for a bit so that I could try to get a little more comfortable, because I get a little sweaty and I didn't want that showing up on the video that I was shooting. And so I had the fan on, and in my brain I thought, I'll just turn it off. As soon as I'm ready, I'll just turn the fan off. So I forgot to turn it off, and I shot a whole segment that was honestly pretty good with the fan on. And then I realized it after, and I said, oh shit, I'm gonna probably have to reshoot that. Then I still wanted the fan on because I was still working on the next segment, and I said, again, I'll turn it off so that I could shoot the next video, and I did it again. So I shot 2 full segments with the fan on. Then I pulled the memory card out, threw it in the laptop, thinking that I'd be able to salvage it, and immediately it's like, you just hear what? So that sucks. I had to pack, and then it got late, and I needed to get out of here. I get up at 5:30 to start this, and the day just goes. Like, honestly, it's pretty busy in the morning. I had to pack the same shirt that I wore yesterday, ironed it and everything, so that I could reshoot those segments for the video and then get that video up. The tech consulting thing, man, it really does have some legs. That last video I posted on tech consulting didn't do shit, and I was really kind of negative on it because of the fact that it just performed so poorly. But now I'm really thinking it's the crappy thumbnail. I mean, it's a bad thumbnail. And I do not have graphic design support for thumbnails. So for a little while, I'm just using a picture of me, and I need more of those because I'm reusing the same ones over and over. But right now it's just a picture of me in here, grabbed from, I run the video, and then I look for a decent picture. Sometimes I pick the wrong picture because I'm looking at them small, and then I see them big, and I'm like, ugh, I'm getting old. So there's some of those pictures, but you have to get comfortable with it. You have to get comfortable looking at yourself a lot when you do this. But I'm using the same ones over and over. I'm going to get some more. Lost my train of thought. Oh, the thumbnail I did for that 5 essential skills you need to break into tech consulting, which is really the first dedicated tech consulting video, has me like holding up 5 fingers, and I thought that was a decent move, and then I just wrote crack the code, and now I'm realizing that if I saw that, I probably would not click on it. It looked pretty amateur-y. So I think I might actually switch that thumbnail out and see if that video has any legs, because the title and description are pretty good, and I think the algorithm will pick up on that. I think. But then again, like, the algorithm looks at the title and description, so why wouldn't it have put it out there? It's not as if the click-through rate was the issue. So for those who give a shit, like, the click-through rate is what determines if your thumbnail is doing anything. So they'll put it out there, and you'll be able to see if people are clicking on it, because they'll tell you how many impressions it got, and then it'll so my wife helped me with one thumbnail, and suddenly my click-through rate had improved on every video after that. So that's how I know that's a measure of a better thumbnail. Like, listen, in the first 2 weeks of this, I just was putting anything up there because I wanted to just shoot the videos, and I wanted to just show up every day, and I was content with the crap. I probably at some point should swap those thumbnails out, because it's totally embarrassing that they exist. I mean, I had the shadow thing going on, but honestly, I thought they looked kind of... I thought the shadow thing wasn't bad, but a proper graphic designer told me otherwise. And so I've made improvements since then, but now I'm just kind of like stuck on the same pattern of the same... I think I use the same font. I use the same font, Bebis. I don't even know how to pronounce it. And I do bold. And now I'm just changing the colors of the background. I'm getting pretty good at the layering though. But the thumbnail for that first tech consulting video is really bad. But maybe I won't even bother. But man, the content should work. The content should work. The content should resonate. So I think I will try to change the thumbnail and see if maybe I get something for it. Because another video from the live series, from the 9 at 9 series, has a decent number of views. Now let's be real. The number of views are really small, but compared to the other 9 at 9s, it has decent views. And the algorithm never promotes the 9 at 9s. Like, it never does. The only pop I get on anything is when I put a video up. But I'm doing these 9 at 9s every day. And so that one got a little bit of attention. And there's support like that. There is a lot of support that niche is my niche, because that's my job. So it would be idiotic for me to go in a different direction. And also, I want to build a tech consulting group. I don't even know why I said it would be idiotic for me to go in a different direction. If I wanted to be a YouTuber, then I could consider other directions. But I didn't start this to be a YouTuber. I started this to build an organization. I started this to build something, a community. The reason I like this Launchpad Unfiltered series is because I think there is value in showing you the work that I have to do to pull this off in a comfortable manner, so that you could consider doing it, right? And I don't mean maybe you'd stumble across this because you're trying to build a YouTube channel. Maybe you'd stumble across this because you want to break into tech consulting. Maybe you'd stumble across this because, I don't know. And it's definitely, I'm not going to be talking about the fitness stuff. I'm not going to be talking about Duolingo, the other kind of like steady daily habits that I have. I really want to be good at Spanish, and I really want to be good. I really want to be fit forever, because like you should. And I'm getting old. But if I wanted to be a YouTuber, I could create a fitness over 50 channel, and maybe that would become a thing. Or I'd start a sailing thing, which is pretty saturated, and honestly that would be super expensive for me to like suddenly just be full-time sailor, but I know how to sail. Or if I wanted to be just a YouTuber, I would focus only on goal setting and accomplishing goals and motivational stuff. I mean, because I've had a pretty good run, and I live a good life, and I have a lot of fun, and I travel, and I accomplish stuff, and so that could be a channel. But that's not my goal. My goal is to develop a group that wants to use these skills to accomplish really great stuff. I have a vision, and I know it could be successful. And honestly, that's why I'm a challenge to stay in corporations for too long, and because my ideas are challenging for them to incorporate. Because you'll see. So that's what this is going to be about. It's like behind the scenes stuff. Right now, I'm still shooting this one using the camera rig that I use for the Talking Head 9 at 9 and the tech consulting videos. And so, I just moved it around a little bit. So the lighting's a little different, but it's the same camera, same angle. Second camera coming today. I'll have that set up probably behind the monitor here so that I can talk more comfortably while I'm working. What I have on the monitor now is straight up AI. Like, honestly, I'm on with AI, and you should be too. I'm on with AI all day long, and like till I go to bed. And it's got everything. I mean, and you can. It's private, but it just has a record appropriately of what I'm working on. And so when I talk about, like, when I bring up something else that I'm like, hey, like, let's break into that thing, it pulls that information up. And sometimes what's frustrating a little bit is it pulls the information up it recreates it, but it's kind of the same, and I'm like still stuck in my old brain, these paradigm shifts are real. My old brain says, and I don't mean old bastards, my old brain says that I read it before, I liked it, I want it to stay the same, and now I want to edit it and keep from there. And that should be the case. I still think that old thought process is the thought process. So what I'm finding now is I copy and paste it into a different document so that I at least have that record. And then I could tell it, hey, this is what I wanted. I like this. Let's build from there. Because what I'm finding is when it pulls up what I think is the document, it just recreates a new document. And I mean, sometimes it's better than the previous one, but I don't want to go down that path every time. But that's the paradigm shift, is that maybe we don't have to like maybe it just recreates. Anyway, I'm thinking it through. But that's what I have up. And so it helped me frame up my 9 at 9 template that I talked about this morning. And we go back and forth, and it helped me, like I shared previously, like to come up with my unique selling proposition and my identity. And my identity sounds a little weird to you, but like when I'm thinking about like the value I can bring to a community, I want to be consistent, and I want to have I want to remember who I am and how I can, like, how do I explain that? I want to be able to communicate the value that I bring consistently, and then as I have new life experience and new accomplishments, that identity can continue to adjust and grow. And so embrace your identity. So like, maybe this is a video, and that's why I love this format. Too often people embrace an identity of negativity. So the best example is like if you consider yourself a procrastinator, like you're embracing that identity. A guy that worked for me, just genius, smart, honestly, like, and hilarious. He was way up there as a person in my life, because we just laugh together all the time. Gosh, it's just so good. When you find someone that can make you laugh, you should hang out with them as much as possible. Seriously. If you make me laugh, I'm a pain in the ass. Like, if you make me laugh, I want to hang out with you a lot. Unfortunately, that was challenging because he was beginning a life with a new baby, and my kids are adults, and we were looking for different things. I was looking to, anyway, it doesn't matter. But he was absolutely terrible at responding to texts and, honestly, emails. It killed his reputation in the office. And a lot of people bitched about it, and they wanted me to do something about it as the boss. And I said, there's so much gold in what he brings to us with these other skills and who he is, that I accept that. I accept his negatives. I, of course, want him to improve them, and I talked to him about that, and we knew it was a weakness. He didn't lack self-awareness. He was aware that that was a weakness. And, but he just identified with that. I think he said once, and by the way, when you get into my age, like this, when I'm constantly like trying to, like, you can see me doing it on the videos. I wish I didn't have to do it, but I'm like adjusting my whatever. So just it's annoying. But he would identify with his procrastination. Man, he called it urgent. I don't know. He had a name. Like when you try to get your passport renewed, and expedited. So like when you try to get your passport renewed, and you can pay extra for an expedited service, right? I mean, we're talking about, like, he had to go down to the Department of State here in DC because we live here, and he paid whatever price it was to get it expedited, and then we went on a trip. But he actually just he called himself expedited, like that's what he needs. One time I picked him up for a trip, and I clearly woke him up, and it was early, and we had to move. I mean, we had to, like, I was not early. I picked him up at the time I said I was going to pick him up, and that wasn't built a lot of cushion. Like, there wasn't a ton of cushion. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's not ready. And so calling him, and then it turns out that I woke him up, and he hadn't packed. He hadn't packed for a trip that we were going on, and I was picking him up. Somehow he put enough stuff in a bag, and he acted like this was a normal thing. Now, I love this guy, and maybe someday he'll see this video and he'll laugh about it. But he identified by that. That is terrible, right? Like, you do not want to identify with your negative traits. Like, that's not good. Like, so you want to identify with your positive traits, and you want to identify with that which you've accomplished, and maybe you shouldn't identify with like who you want to be necessarily, because that's that's really being overconfident. And I love the positivity and everything, but you are who you are now, and you could identify with a little bit like where you're heading, but identify with what you've done. And most of us have done a lot that we don't even remember, and so like write it out. Like, who are you? Like, for me, it's just like a lot of movement in my life. I took different opportunities. I did some entrepreneurial stuff. I built some teams, but then I failed. I was busted a couple of times, and we'll get into that. And so, like, big risks and failures are my history, and that's a fact. And I also am willing to do it again. Like, that's my identity. And of course, I've accomplished great things. And of course, I've challenged myself in other ways besides business and learned some things. And then once I went deep in AI and analytics and everything, I mean, that's my identity now, right? So helping people embrace this space that I'm in, because I'm battle tested and I've done it, and I lead and I hire and I grow, like, that's my identity. So working with AI to nail that down and get it into a couple of paragraphs, and then like really embrace it, is powerful. It's a really great way to start, and it'll give you a taste of the capability here. And then if you're just creating documents, whatever you're doing, like, do it with AI all the time, because it just keeps pulling stuff up. Now, on a work-related stuff, totally separate. Like, when I'm working with AI, this is a different laptop that I'm working on right now. Then I have my work laptop, and I switch to that. And then throughout the day, I'm doing those things. So when I'm filming this, it's going to be focused on non-day job work-related. Clearly, I'm not going to be filming Launch Lab regarding my day job. And so we're going to consolidate my side project efforts and shoot this, see what kind of content we create, and then get more flexible, right? Like, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll have the camera on when we're just working on something. Probably, I don't know. Like, maybe there's something there. Then I was thinking maybe I'll have the camera on while I'm, like, literally shooting a video. If the camera was on while I was shooting that video last night, like, people might be entertained by that, and who knows? People like that post this stuff get surprising results with that kind of content, and I'm gonna try it. Like, I'm gonna be flexible and see how you react to it, and then tell me, like, please, like, yeah. That's the only way it works. Now, I'm gonna take that feedback, but I'm also gonna continue on the path that I have to do to build this, right? Remember, I can't express this enough. My goal isn't to be a YouTuber. My goal is to build this thing. So even though some content may resonate in a way that grows the YouTube, I need that in order to build this thing. If the direction of that content took me away from what I wanted to accomplish, I'd have to regroup a little bit. And I think that's happening to some people out there. Some people have become super popular, and I could only dream of those kinds of numbers, right? Because if those numbers, then the damn business must be very successful, because it definitely works from a marketing standpoint. But then I see them adjusting, and I'm like, the amount of content that they're putting out, and the different kind of content that they're putting out, leads me to believe that they may be putting more time into the YouTuber social media game than their own business. Which, like, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that it's a little different than they are portraying. And I won't say what I was going to say, because there's another very, very, very popular figure in society at the highest level in our world that I noticed years and years ago was spending way too much fucking time on self-promotion and not enough time on real business, and I questioned, like, what was going on. I won't get into that today, but I will shut it down now. And like I said, you can tell my sleep score by my eyes. When I just can feel them. And well, you saw me drinking the coffee. All right, shutting down this. I'm not saying I'm shutting down. I don't even know why I'm saying I'm shutting it down. I'm just going to turn the camera off, because I'm going to figure some stuff out. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to shoot the rest of that video. I'm going to switch shirts, and then shoot some more of this later. And then maybe we'll post the first Launch Lab. So I'm going to number these in line with the sprint that I'm in. At some point, the people that are watching this will know what I mean. And the battery is draining quickly. I'm gonna get a never-ending battery on this thing. So I've only got like a minute before that battery dies. So the sprint that I'm in is sprint 2, because the sprint year started. I don't know if I'm gonna number the years. Maybe I'll just start with 2 and I'll just grow from there. But we're in sprint 2, and it's day 7. So it's 2.7. I think I might put the years in there, but that'll be confusing, because then people think it's a date. I think it's just going to be sprint 2.7, and maybe I'll just count the sprints forever. Yeah, so it's going to be like Launch Lab. Why do I say Launch Lab too much? The Launchpad Unfiltered sprint 2.7, because when I capture it today, it's a day. I don't think I'm going to capture launch pad footage over multiple days. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I don't know if I'll put launch pad up every day, because again, then I'm battling with how much. We'll figure it out. All right, later.